Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again.
So Christ was having a conversation with the Father, and then the Father spoke back from the heavens. Read.
Verse 28, verse 29. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered.
That it what?
That it thundered.
Just like in Exodus 20. Same exact voice.
Verse 29. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered. Others said, and the angel spake to him.
You see that thing right there? You see that thing right there? All we had to do was listen the first time. But all praises, the Most High loved us so much, he sent his son Jesus the Christ. The same thing remains the same. We have to obey the voice of God. Oh gosh. All right. So let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 16. Jeremiah chapter 16, or is it 15? I'm about to find out. I don't know. I don't know yet. I think it's Jeremiah 16. Yes. All right, read this for me. Stephen, you got it? Jeremiah 16. And I want you to read verse 12. We're going to start right here. All right. So we have to make sure that we listen to the voice of God and not follow the example of our forefathers. Right. All right. Read that for me, please.
Yes, sir. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 12. And ye have done worse than your fathers.
It says what?
Ye have done worse than your fathers.
As the generations go on and increase and to the point where we're at today, we lose. What's the one in Ezra's? You know what I'm talking about, lose stature? Read that for me, please. 2nd Ezra's 5, before we get into it. Watch this, y'all.
Yes, sir. The book of 2nd Ezra's, chapter 5 and verse 52.
Just start at verse 54.
Yes, sir. Verse 54. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you.
Come on.
And so are they that come after you, less than ye, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of youth.
Right. So we get more watered down and more watered down as we go. So that's why when we go back to Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 12, read that for me, soldier.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 12.
Come on.
And ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart.
Right. It says all of us at this time was walking in the imagination of our evil heart. Just like the majority of us was doing before we came into this truth. Okay. Read on.
That they may not hearken unto me.
Right. Hey, drop that for me. So now I want to get into it. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 20. We're going to do some reading today. All right. Give me Exodus chapter 20. I want you to start at verse 1. And we're going to read down. All right. So make sure you're paying attention because you might miss it. All right. So I want you to read a little faster. And then at certain points, I'll tell you to stop. OK.
Yes,
so
sir.
let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1.
Come on.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So, you know something? Let me see who caught it. Who caught what just took place? Let me see who's paying attention. Because I said you might miss it if you're not paying attention. Who caught it by show of hands? There's 4 of you. Officer, go ahead.
In the beginning it said, these are the words that I spake.
Just read verse 1. Yeah, he's closest. Read verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying.
See that thing? This is the voice of God. A lot of people, they miss that when it comes to the 10 commandments right here in Exodus 20. Read it again, verse 1.
And God spake all these words,
saying. It says, God spake all of these words that we're about to read. Okay? Now, read on, verse 2.
Verse 2.
Come on.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Come on.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth.
Read.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Come on.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
Right. And yeah, Bishop Yawasab was just going over this last Sabbath. Why is it talking about that? Well, I mean, what does it mean when it says that? It's talking about what? He's going to catch you either in the third or the fourth. Meaning what? If he don't catch you in when you're alive, you're going to be regenerated either in the third or the fourth generation. Okay, understand that. A quick precept, Ecclesiastes 4. Here's a quick precept for that. Okay, so write it down. Write this down. Give me the book of Ecclesiastes 4 and 16. Watch this. Watch this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 16.
Now, what we're going to do, we're going to read verse 16 first, then we're going to read verse 15. Watch this.
Verse 16. There is no end of all the people.
Keep that in mind. It says there's no end of all the people. Watch this.
Even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him.
Come on.
Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit.
So in verse 16, it says, there is no end of all of the people. Read verse 15.
Verse 15. I considered all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead.
So it's telling you everybody in the first and second generation, that's literally everybody on the earth. That's what it's saying right there. And guess what? They normally come back in what? The third and the fourth generation. It's the same spirits recycling over and over again. All right, so let's go back to Exodus 20. Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Right. The Most High said he's going to show mercy to those who love him and keep his commandments. But what did he say about the third and fourth generation that hate me? He said he's going to visit their iniquity. This is God. This is the voice of God literally saying this, all right? Read verse 6 again.
Verse 6, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
Come on.
And keep my commandments.
Read.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain.
Read.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Come on.
In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Read.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
And made that day holy, which the Christian church doesn't give a damn about what the Most High set up. Devils. Read on.
Verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Come on.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is in thy neighbor's.
Now, verse 18 is the key. So what did we just read? The 10 oral commandments spoken by the Most High God himself. And that's how it should be stated. These are the 10 spoken commandments by God. Okay? Verse 18, read that.
Verse 18.
Come on.
And all the people saw the thunderings.
All the people saw what when this took place?
The thunderings.
So they saw the thunderings. Go ahead.
And the lightnings.
And the lightnings when God spoke. Read.
And the noise of the trumpet.
And
the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
So Israel heard this. They saw this. It was out of a movie scene. A horror flick. It said they want no parts in it. You know why Israel ain't want no parts in it? Because Israel's wicked as hell. And it scared us. It was like, wait a second. So you mean to tell me if we don't do this, you're going to visit our iniquity? We don't want nothing to do with this thing. Because you know the minds in our people is what? To do evil, to commit sin. Yes, that's why we read, hey, we don't want to follow after our forefathers. We don't want to follow after our wicked forefathers. We want to follow the righteous examples and listen to the voice of God. Like Abraham, right? When he was called, he listened. He hearkened. Can we get that real quick? Can we get that one real quick, please? All right. When Abraham was called, he listened.
The book of Genesis, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Come on.
Now the Lord hath said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will shew thee. And I will make of thee a great nation.
Come on.
And I will bless thee and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him.
You see that thing right there? That's what we want to follow. Very good. Very good. When the Lord speaks, we ought to do what? We ought to listen to his voice, right? So if you don't know, now you got it. Now write it down. All right, now go back to Exodus chapter 20, verse 18. All right, make sure IT, don't leave that part in, all right? Exit that part out, right? Yes, sir. You know how IT be. They will leave all of the bad stuff in there. That's what they do. That's what they do. Give me that. Exodus chapter 20, verse 18. Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
Read.
And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
I'm going to tell you something about Israel. Israel know they be lying. Yep. Israel know they be lying. They say, you know what? Moses, hey, you got to speak with us. Please go speak to God up there in the mountain because I'm terrified. But Moses, I guarantee you, I put this on my, you know, Jake, I put it on my mama. All right, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna listen to you, bro. Can we go back just 2-3 chapters, 4 chapters? Exodus 16 and 1, because that's how Israel do. This is what they do. They say, you know what? That's too serious for me. I'm terrified. Moses, I promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm gonna listen to you, bro. Watch this. Exodus 16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 16 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And they took their journey from Elim. And all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron
in the
wilderness. And they murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness.
You see that? You see that? Israel will put on a front. Yep. Y'all know what it is. When brothers and sisters say things like, I'll never do it again, I'm like, oh, gosh, they're going to do it later tonight. You understand? You say you got something. My mic started up. Go ahead, officer. You have something?
Hey, that was funny, Cap. That's true. Didn't they do the same thing in Exodus chapter 12? Not too far. Miriam and Aaron start talking against Moses, saying, hey, God spoke to us too. Let's get that real quick. Exodus chapter 12 and verse, it says, where it says,
the book of Numbers.
Numbers. Yeah, Numbers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 4. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my word, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision.
Why would God say that? Is because Miriam and Aaron was a sub-authority over Moses, thinking that they have the same level. They at the same level. The same thing that those princes did. When those 250 princes that think God speak to them just like Moses, that's Israel. But when they see the clouds coming, they got scared. Like, Moses, you can talk to them because we don't want to get killed. You put us to death. But the moment that is gone, they forget about everything they just said. Go ahead, Cap.
Hey, real quick, just like, yeah, Jake, that's what Jake do. They'll say one thing, but knowing down the road, they're not going to listen. Nope. Give me that in Sirach 23. This is why the scriptures are written right here. Give me Sirach chapter 23. I want verses 9 and 10. Watch this, y'all. And then we'll go to Exodus 21. Watch this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Accustom not thy mouth to swearing. Neither use thyself to the naming of the Holy One.
Right. Don't be saying, hey, Moses, I swear. I'm going to listen to you, Moses. I swear. I just don't want to listen to him because I'm scared. That's how our people do. God says don't accustom thy what?
Accustom thyself
It says, accustom not thy mouth to swearing. Read on.
Neither use thyself to the naming of the Holy One.
Watch verse 10.
For as a servant that is continually beaten shall not be without a blue mark.
Right, so it's saying, hey, if you have a servant, you're going to put a rod to him, keep beating at him. Obviously, he's going to turn black and blue and purple. You're going to have bruises on him. Go ahead.
So he that sweareth and nameth God continually shall not be faultless.
Right, you're not going to be found faultless. And that's the situation with the nation of Israel. Why? Because God literally came down. We say we don't want to listen to God's voice. We want to listen to your voice, Moses. And what do we read all throughout the history? Us disrespecting leaders, us killing the prophets, right? And don't forget what we said, Exodus 21. Don't forget what we said and agreed upon, 24 and 7. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people.
Watch this.
And they said, all that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient.
You see that? That's how we do. That's how we do. We all agreed. But guess what? Just like it said in Sirach 23 and 10, it says, for as a servant that is continually beaten shall not be without a blue mark, so he that sweareth and nameth God continually shall not be faultless. We all said we don't want to listen to God, and we wanted to listen to Moses. Did we do that? No, we did not do that. Another account, give me that in Deuteronomy 5. Here's another account. Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 5, I think it's like 25-ish. Let me get there with you, please. All right. That's how our people are. And that's how you know without a shadow of a doubt, we are the Israelites. There's no doubting that. Okay, yeah, 22. Start at 22. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 22.
Come on.
These words the Lord spake unto all of your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me.
Come on.
And it came to pass, when ye heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountain did burn with fire, that ye came near unto me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And ye said, behold, the Lord our God hath showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire.
And we admitted to, we said we heard the voice of the Lord out of the midst of the fire. Go ahead.
We have seen this day that God doth talk with man.
Come on.
And he liveth.
That's showing you how much the Lord God loves us. He literally came down to our realm and talked to us. We heard the voice of God. We felt his power. We saw the lightnings and the thunderings. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Now, therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us.
Read.
If we hear the voice of the Lord our God anymore, then we shall die.
Go ahead.
For who is there of all flesh that have heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of the fire? And we have and lived. Go thou near and hear all that the Lord our God shall say. And speak thou unto us all that the Lord our God shall speak unto thee. And we will hear it and do it.
Hey, that ain't nothing but an excuse. You know, like I say in Proverbs, there's a lion in the way. That ain't nothing but an excuse. Because Moses, wait a second. Y'all couldn't listen, but Moses could? What you saying right there? Y'all said, no, Moses, you go do it. You go do it, because everybody, that just shows you the mind. What? As soon as he went up to the mountain, what did Israel do? They started worshiping idols immediately. That's why they didn't want to listen and hearken to the voice of God. Immediately, as soon as he went up, they started worshiping calves, offering unto a false god, because they already had that in their hearts. Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm flipping that to this day and age. Brothers and sisters, some of y'all don't really want to get involved with too much in the body. Why? Because you're not fully vested. You got one door, you got one foot inside and the other one outside in the midst of sin. You're living double lives. Same thing with our forefathers. They're not fully vested. That's why when it comes to the work of the Lord, it's like, what's going on? Because you're not 100%. Give me that. And oh no, we're gonna get that actually later. I'm gonna save that. I gotta let the class build up. So let's read on. Let's read some more of this. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5.
Turn his mic back up. Come on.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 28.
Read.
And the Lord heard the voice of your words, when ye spake unto me. And the Lord said unto me, I have heard thee, the voice of the words of this people.
So God's saying to Moses, man, I heard what wicked Israel's down there saying. I heard exactly what they said, making excuses. They don't want to be held accountable. Black people hate accountability. Black people hate accountability, man. And how do we read it right here in the Bible? Read.
Which they have spoken unto thee. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there were such a heart in them that they would fear me and keep all my commandments.
So God is saying, man, I just wish there was a heart in them that wants to serve me. Right. That's what God was saying back then. That's what he's saying. Hold that. Give me, I'm kind of jumping. Give me Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 20, I believe. Something like that. 21. Start at 21. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 21. Because think about it. Moses introduced what? Moses, the law of sacrifice, reintroduced the law of sacrifice, right? Okay? To the children of Israel. Right. But at the end of the day, is that what God wanted? No, that's not what he wanted. Give me that, Jeremiah 7:21. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 7 and verse 21.
Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh.
Come on.
For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Watch this.
But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice.
You see that thing right there? God said this one thing. He just wanted what? The children of Israel to do what?
Obey my voice.
You got to think about it. Our forefathers literally heard the voice of God. They seen the thunder. They seen the lightnings. Is there more on that?
Yes, sir.
Read.
And I will be your God, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you.
We literally had it made, man. Literally had it made. The Creator said, I want these people right here. All they got to do is listen. But nope, just couldn't do it. Right. So that's why we're in the situation we're in right now. So stay with me now. We're going somewhere in today's class. Go back, Deuteronomy 5 and 29. Finish that out for me.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 29.
Come on.
Oh, that there were such a heart in them, that they would fear me and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So God is literally pleading with us. Could y'all just have a heart to follow me wholeheartedly all the way? Verse 30.
Verse 30. Go say to them, get you into your tents again.
All right, drop that. Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26. All right, so we're reading what? Our forefathers made excuses. Any excuse in the book not to listen to the voice of the living God. All right, and so in turn, he already knew what was going to happen. Because we're hard-headed and rebellious, he already knew. Watch this, Deuteronomy 32, 26.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 26.
Come on.
I said, I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord have not done all this.
Come on.
For they are a nation void of counsel.
It says, Israel, we're a nation void of counsel. We don't listen. Very hard-headed. Read.
Neither is there any understanding in them.
Meaning what? He literally said with his voice, he will visit your iniquity. But if you follow him, he'll have mercy on you. Common sense will tell you what? I need to listen to what God is saying. Common sense, right? But wrong. Now, Israel, read verse 30 again. Oh, no, where is that? Verse 28 again?
Watch this. 28. Verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel.
Read.
Neither is there any understanding in them.
Come on.
Oh, that they were wise, that they understand this, that they would consider their latter end.
That's the thing about it right there. If we were wise and understood what God is saying, we would obviously hearken and listen. But most importantly, if we don't listen over time, where's that going to get us? You understand? Eventually, where's that going to get us as a nation? Our forefathers, when we had everything, we didn't think for 1 second that we would end up going on those cargo slave ships. You know that, right? Just being rebellious, doing your own thing, worshiping. You know, nobody ever thought that one day we would forget who we are as a nation of people. But God is saying that, hey, what's wrong with these people? They're void of counsel, void of understanding. They don't consider what's going to happen if they keep this up. Read that verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 29. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end.
That they would consider their latter end. Give me the book of Jeremiah chapter 23. Today's lesson is the voice of God. Today's topic is the voice of God. Give me that. Jeremiah chapter 23. And I want you to start at verse 16. Y'all know Jeremiah 23 talks about the wicked pastors, right? All right. This is going into what? A rebellious nation of people who is wise in their own eyes. And because of that, this is the, how can I say, the reward in the latter days. Because of that, watch this.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 16.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord.
And not out of the mouth of the Lord. Those are your Christian pastors today, man. Okay? And it's a lot of rebellious Israel as well. Okay? That know they're Israel too. All right? A lot of brothers know they're Israel, but you catch them going to camp, but then you catch them going to the convenience store the same day. And say they love the Lord and say they teaching God's commandments, but they're breaking them. Read on.
Verse 17.
Go ahead.
They say still unto them that despise me. The Lord hath said, ye shall have peace.
Go ahead.
And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you.
You see that thing right there? That's how you know it's a false prophet. Say nothing's going to happen if you do that. And a lot of that stuff is going on in various IUIC congregations as well. Contingency talk, a lot of murmuring, all right? Evil spirits that's been around longer, getting younger spirits to themselves. Say, nah, it's all good. I've been doing this for a long time. You better wake up and realize that we almost at the end of this thing, brothers and sisters. Okay, read on. Watch this.
For who have stood in the counsel of the Lord and have perceived and heard his word?
Come on.
Who have marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury.
Wait. Verse 19, what?
Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury.
Read.
Even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked.
What's a whirlwind, brothers?
Tornado.
All right, it says a whirlwind is going out in the Lord's fury. Read on.
Even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked.
Watch this.
The anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly.
In the what?
Latter days ye shall consider it perfectly.
He said in the latter days we shall consider it perfectly. It's going to make, meaning what? It's going to make perfect sense while you're seeing the tornadoes. Why you're seeing the earthquakes in the latter days? Because God is getting sick of the wickedness on the earth. Understand that thing. Give me Nahum chapter 1, verse 3. Okay, watch this, y'all. Give me Nahum chapter 1 and verse 3. All right, we got some videos and some articles coming up. All right, but we got some scriptures first. Read that for me, please. Nahum. He don't know where Nahum's at.
The book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
The Lord is slow to anger and great in power.
It says the Lord is slow to anger and great in power. Meaning what? Meaning what? The Most High, he's very merciful with us, but there comes a point where what? Mercy runs out. Mercy does run out. Read.
And will not at all acquit the wicked.
You remember that? We read that in Exodus 20. He said, visiting the iniquity to the third and fourth generation. He's not going to acquit the wicked. Read that part again.
Yes, sir. And will not at all acquit the wicked.
Read.
The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind.
The Lord have his way in what?
In the whirlwind.
Go ahead.
And in the storm. And the clouds are the dust of his feet.
It says the clouds are dust of his feet. He has his way in the whirlwind. So when we see these things, that's what? That's the voice of God. That is the voice of God that we would not listen to back in Exodus 20. Now he's speaking a different way. All right, he's speaking a different way, more in intense way, very intense. All right, from there, Give me Isaiah 29 and 6. Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 6.
Come on.
Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
Right, and those wildfires that you be seeing breaking out, okay? The earthquakes, the tempests, the tornadoes. God is in the storm. He's in the midst of all of that. Just a few days ago, there was a tornado that killed many in Arkansas, okay? Before that, there was one in Mississippi. Pull up the Mississippi one real quick. I want to touch that. All right, read that.
Tornado leaves path of destruction in Mississippi. Powerful thunderstorms swept through Mississippi and Alabama on the evening of March 24th, 2023, producing multiple tornadoes. There were 20 reports of tornadoes across the two states on that day.
You see that? 20 reports of tornadoes, multiple. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, this is literally the voice of God. This is him in these storms. Go ahead.
According to the National Weather Service, communities in western and central Mississippi were especially devastated by the storms after 2 deadly tornadoes ripped through homes, businesses, and farmland. Around 8 p.m. on March 24th, a violent tornado touched down near Mississippi's border with Louisiana. As it moved east through Rolling Fork, the tornado snapped trees, ripped roofs off of houses, and toppled the town's water tower.
Hey, and don't forget, we covered this a little bit. You had the what's the brother that they chopped up, man? What's the brother's name?
Rasheem Carter.
Rasheem Carter. Thank you very much. Rasheem Carter. All right, remember that took place. That just came out of what they did. They're trying to bring back Jim Crow in Mississippi. All right, the Most High, he sees all of these things. The wicked think that they're getting away. No, the Most High sees all of this wickedness.
Right.
Okay, and he said in these latter days, now he's not playing no games. He's going to be sending these whirlwinds. Give me that in Job 37. Watch this, Job chapter 37, I believe it's verse 9. And then we got the video for Arkansas as well. They just had some deadly tornadoes as well. Job 37, yep, verse 9. Watch this.
The book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Out of the south cometh the whirlwind.
You see that? So out of the south cometh the whirlwind. All right, that's how it is. That's how the Most High set it up. That's what is it called, like Tornado Alley. You know, when it comes to those southern states like Arkansas, Oklahoma, all of that area over there. That's what it's talking about. Read the verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind.
Come on.
And cold out of the north.
Right, your blizzards, you see those type of storms up in the north. Pull up the video of the storm that took place in Arkansas. Let's pull that up, y'all.
Good evening. As we come on the air tonight, we are tracking those violent and damaging storms on the move in the south central part of the country right now, including early concerns of mass casualties and tornado destruction in the Little Rock area. The mayor there asking for the National Guard to assist. Tonight, severe weather alerts, including tornado watches, are in effect in several southern and Midwest states. Larger cities potentially in the path tonight include Memphis, St. Louis, and Des Moines. Earlier, the National Weather Service labeling it a particularly dangerous situation. Let's go right to Little Rock now. Emily Ikeda, you were forced to take shelter a while ago. What can you tell us?
Lester, that's right. A twister barreling through just across the river there. This area seeing back-to-back tornado warnings. And as we see reports of injuries and damage pouring in, the governor of Arkansas tonight declaring a state of emergency.
Go, 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 go!
Life-threatening danger in the heart of Arkansas.
This is not a possible tornado. This is a tornado in progress.
All
right, so you can stop it right there. There was a brother from the Arkansas camp shared a video. He was actually right next to the tornado. All right, he was able to pull into his house. There's a big tree out in his front yard, a big tree that fell on his neighbor's house, squished the neighbor's house. But he was able to pull up to his front door, and the Most High spared everything around him. That's right. His house was secure. His truck was good. The tornado was literally next to his truck, but God spared him. Showing you what, the Most High, he don't make no mistakes. He's in the storm. So, hey, if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's just showing you the power of the Most High. Not saying that none of us going to get touched. I'm just letting you know the Most High, the issues of death. Give me that, Psalms. That's in the Most High's hands right there. Psalm 68. Is that what I want? 20. Psalm 68 and 20. Watch this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 20.
Come on.
He that is our God is the God of salvation.
Come on.
And unto God the Lord belong the issues from death.
Right. God don't make no mistakes. He know who that's for. He know who that storm is coming for and who it's not coming for. All right. From there, give me the book of 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. Okay. All right. Right now, we're dealing with the voice of the Lord in the storm. Okay. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8. And I believe it's verse 22. Let me get there with you. Yes, read that.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 22.
Come on.
Whose service is conversant in wind and fire.
Right. Whose service? Who's this talking about? The Most High God. It says, whose service is conversant. Conversant is what? Conversation. Okay. Remember, today's topic is the voice of God. Read the verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 22. Whose service is conversant in wind and fire.
Wind and fire. These two go hand in hand when it comes to the storms, the wildfires. Go ahead.
Whose word is true.
Come on.
And sayings constant.
And sayings constant. Read.
Whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful.
Fearful. Remember what the forefathers said. They said it was so scary. They thought they was going to die. All right. And think about what happens when hurricanes and twisters break forth. Yes, you thinking about, you know what? It could be my day.
That's right.
Okay. The Most High is not playing no games, brothers and sisters, but he did that to do what? To steer us in the direction so we would keep his commandments. And why do you think he's doing it in this day and time? For the same exact reason.
That's right.
So we can fear God and keep his commandments so we can get this kingdom, brothers and sisters. Drop that. Give me Psalm chapter 18, verse 13. Because what are you going to do? You know a tornado literally just can drop. You could be anywhere. Tornado can literally just drop down in front of your car or in front of you at any given time. What are you going to do in that hour if you're not right? What you going to do? Right. It's nothing you can do. So the best thing to do is what? We got to read these scriptures, take it as motivation for us to get our minds right. Stay away from idle time. Okay? Stay away from evil people. Okay, now the time to get ourselves right. Give me Psalms chapter 18, verse 13. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Psalms, chapter 18 and verse 13.
Come on.
The Lord also thundered in the heavens.
You see that the Lord also thundered in the heavens. Read.
And the highest gave his voice.
He gave his what?
His voice.
His voice. When you hear those thunderings, that boom, yes, that's God letting you know, yeah, he's here. That's what he's doing right there. When you feel that room shake, God is letting you know this is my earth. This belongs to me. Read it again.
Yes, sir. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice. Hailstones and coals of fire.
Hailstones. When it's a hailstorm, that's God letting you know I'm here and I still run all of this. From there, give me Job chapter 40 and verse 9. Job chapter 40 and verse 9. Watch this.
The book of Job chapter 40 and verse 9.
Come on.
Hast thou an arm like God? Or canst thou thunder with a voice like him?
You see that? Canst thou thunder with a voice like him? The Most High, he got the baritone. Right. He's the one that got the deep voice. Causes your car to rattle when it's a bad storm out there. From there, let's go to the book of John chapter 12. Okay? All right, so, hey, we going over this to make sure, brothers and sisters, this ain't no random phenomenon. This is literally the voice of God that's taking place in these last days, brothers and sisters. And you know what? Let's read this. I don't want to jump the gun. Give me that. John, what I call 12 and 20? 12 and 20. Watch this.
The book of John, chapter 12 and verse 20.
Watch this.
And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. And Jesus answered them, saying, The hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified.
Come on.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, except of corn, of wheat, fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
So listen to what Messiah is saying right here. It says, he that loveth his life. You know, a lot of sisters, I got to talk about sisters. A lot of sisters, y'all love the comforts of America. You love how easy things are. You love to have your shoes laid out how you like it. You love to decorate, which is fine. But understand this, like it says in Micah chapter 2, verse 10, this is not our rest. And we're going to be like pilgrims on the earth. So God is letting us know, if you love this life so much to the point, if you were removed from it, just like our forefathers, go back to Exodus 16. I don't think we read everything I wanted to read. Let me get there with you. I'll look it up on my phone real quick. Exodus chapter 16, because it was something key that I don't think we covered. Verse 3. Yeah. Exodus 16 and 3. I want to read the whole verse. Then I want to come back to where we are in John 12. All right, because of the statement that I just made. A lot of brothers, it's not just you sisters, it's just more common with you sisters. Brothers too. You ever meet the brother who's always just talking about his job all the time? Never wants to talk about scriptures, wants to talk about anything and everything except the scriptures. Those type of people. They love it here. They love the things in America more than they love the word of God. These type of people. So I'll read the verse again, and I want you to read Exodus 16 and 3. It says, he that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it. That's what it is. You have to be annoyed, irritated with sin. Sirach says the noise of foolishness, foolishness is irksome. Okay? What it say in Ezekiel 9 and 4, it say, set a mark in the men who sigh and cry against the abominations. You got to be fed up with this place. Okay? Now watch this. This is those brothers and sisters who got that mindset that they want to stay here, that they're comfortable with the United States of America. Read that for me.
The book of Exodus, chapter 16 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt.
Read.
When we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full.
You see that thing right there? It's like, look how good we had it in Egypt, Moses. And ain't this the same, man? They say, hey, we don't listen to God, but we're going to listen to you, Moses. See how they do? They say, hey, we had it good in Egypt. Read.
For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
Some people cannot be saved. I'll say it again. Some people cannot be saved. If you find yourself in the assembly of murmurers, I'm just going to let you know something. You are too a murmurer. If you find yourself in the assembly of complainers, guess what? You too are a complainer. Salvation is not for those type of people. The only salvation that's going to take place is for those who overcome and endure unto the end. I hope y'all understand that thing. But for the sake of time, let's go back to John chapter 12, verse 25. Watch this.
The book of John, chapter 12 and verse 25.
Come on.
He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
Hey, if you comfortable, if you good every day, chances you're going to lose your life. Thus saith the Lord. Christ just said, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it life eternal. That means what? You're going to live forever if you hate what you see on the day to day. Let's read on.
Verse 26.
Come on.
If any man serve me, let him follow me.
Listen to God's voice. This is his son. Listen to the voice of God. Because Christ came, he didn't come to do his own will, but the will of the Father that sent him. Christ had to come because we wouldn't listen to the voice of God in the beginning. You got to think about that. Christ had to come because we didn't listen in the beginning. Read it again.
Verse 26. If any man serve me, let him follow me. And where I am, there shall also my servant be.
Go ahead.
If any man serve me, him will my Father honor.
Come on.
Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour, but for this cause came I unto this hour. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again.
So Christ was having a conversation with the Father, and then the Father spoke back from the heavens. Read.
Verse 28, verse 29. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered.
That it what?
That it thundered.
Just like in Exodus 20. Same exact voice. Read verse 29 again.
Verse 29. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered. Others said, and the angel spake to him.
You see that thing right there? You see that thing right there? All we had to do was listen the first time, but all praises, the Most High loves us so much, he sent his son Jesus the Christ, right? But it's showing you what? The same thing remains the same. We have to obey the voice of God. Nothing changes, brothers and sisters. Yes, officer?
Let me get a precept. Let me get Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15, just to show you what Cap is going over. And that's the position that we are put in the time that we're living right now. Read that for me.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place.
God said he will go and return to his place. Why? That show you what? God used to deal with us when he come in the cloud to talk to Israel to prove them. The purpose of God coming and doing that, he's trying to prove. Actually, let's get that. Let's get that exactly what Cap was teaching at. We're coming right back to this. Exodus 20, where Moses say, God is trying to prove you. Read that for me. You know what? I don't know if that's what Cap going to go into. Let's finish with Hosea for me.
Yes, sir. The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
Read.
And seek my face.
And do what?
Seek my face.
So God is expecting us to seek his face. How do you seek God's face in the Bible? You got to come back to him and learn what requires from you. And forsake your old way. Go ahead.
In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So God says, while you getting afflicted, while he's putting pain on you, when he's judging you, then you're gonna come. You're gonna come to your sense and come back to him. Go ahead, Cap.
All praise. Let's go to Sirach 43 real quick. Sirach chapter 43, and give me verse 15.
The book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 15.
Come on.
By his great power he maketh the clouds firm, and the hailstones are broken small. At his sight the mountains are shaken.
You see that? It says at his what?
At his sight the mountains are shaken.
It says at his sight the mountains are shaken. Go ahead.
And at his will the south wind bloweth. The noise of the thunder maketh the earth to tremble. So doeth the northern storm and the whirlwind. As birds flying he scattereth the snow, and the falling down thereof is as the lightning of grasshoppers.
You know what I want to do? I want to focus on verse 16. Read that again.
Verse 16. At his sight, the mountains are shaken.
Right. That's going into what? Those going to earthquakes. Okay, that's going into the earthquakes. Give me what took place in was that Turkey and Syria last month, right? There's been many earthquakes since then, but that because it killed so many people. I think that number was over like 40,000 after it was all said and done. Pull that up real quick. All of that destruction. Who did it? The Lord. That's it on that video? All right, take that down. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15. All right, so today's topic is the voice of God. And I pray everybody gets something from it, man. Pray everybody gets something from today's topic. Give me that in verse 20. Actually, let's do this. 2nd Ezra 15, start at verse 24. Watch this.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 24.
Come on.
Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary.
You see that? From the power. We read about his power. He speaks through the thundering. He's in the storm. He's in the tempest. He's in the whirlwind. He's in the earthquakes, the fires, all of that. It says, woe, destruction. You saw that destruction that we just saw? Right there with Turkey and Syria?
Sir.
It says, destruction to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Meaning what? Like I said in Jeremiah 20, we should understand perfectly in these last days. If you want to mess around, if you were raised in this truth, when you get of age, now you want to start having girlfriends, you're an idiot. You young sisters, you want to mess around with boys, you're an idiot.
Right.
Because you have something that we didn't even have.
Right.
You understand? We had to go figure all of this stuff out. Our parents, I know, hey, hopefully they repent, but my parents are wicked. They never taught me to keep God's commandments. Okay? The Lord's will, they repent one day. But right now they wicked. But y'all, you know, some brothers and sisters don't even understand what they got. Right. They got parents in this truth. And they still want to go out there and die. You crazy as hell, man. Yes, officer? Okay. You crazy as hell. I want you to read from verse 24 again.
Yes, sir. Verse 24. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power.
Go away from the power. Do you know who the power is? That's the Most High God. Go ahead.
Defile not my sanctuary.
Read.
For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him.
You see that thing? God say he knows all them that sin against him. He sees it all. Read.
And therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
You see that? See, I pray all of us see it. We all need to see that thing. Okay? For those who want to sin and think you're getting away with it, do it maliciously, willful sin, God says, if you don't change, and a lot of times, who's to say that you're going to get mercy in the first place?
Facts.
God don't deal with everybody the same. Some people he does give longer stints of mercy. But guess what? God's letting us know mercy is eventually going to run out either way. Read 26 and 27 together.
Yes, sir. Verse 26. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
Read.
For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him.
You see that thing? Is that what you want? Is that what you want your end to be? Void of counsel, void of understanding. He said he's delivering the plagues upon the whole earth, but you're going to remain in them, knowing that you're an Israelite, just because you did not want to overcome. I pray that's not the mindset of brothers and sisters out there. I know that's not what I want for me. That's not what I want for my house.
That's right.
Okay, let's drop that. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. All right, Romans chapter 13, verse 11. We're about to change gears in a little bit. All right, watch this. Romans chapter 13 and verse 11.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11.
Come on.
And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Right, knowing the time, Matthew 16 and 1. And we're coming right back to this. Please remind me to go back to Romans 13. It says, knowing the time, this will be the best time to awake out of that delusion, out of that deep sleep. Read this for me, Matthew 16 and 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the signs of the times?
Right. Right. So you mean to tell me you've been coming to the Sabbath every week for the last 3, 5, 7, 10 years, 15 years, and you don't know what's taking place? I can tell you this. When I first came in, it's not little, but death. Man, when I first came in this truth, people didn't die, bro.
Right.
Let me tell you straight up. People did not die. Like, it just didn't happen like that. And when it did happen, it was like, whoa, like, dang. But now, 2023, from my whole stint, I'm like, it's something's happening. I know something's happening because it's happening so often, so frequent. The Lord's preparing us for something. He's preparing us for more death to come. I say all that to say this. You see the earthquakes. You see the tornadoes. You see the famines. You see all of this death and destruction taking place now. People are like, hey, man, it's going to be crazy when it starts happening. It is happening. What are you talking about? It's happening right now. What are you talking about? It's right here. That's the issue with our people. Literally, we are literally living in Jacob's trouble, and our people don't even know it. They don't even fathom that we're in the end right now. There's not going to be another chance after this. This is it. Read the verse again. Verse 3, think you was at?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. And in the morning it would be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?
Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be sitting here faking the funk. I mean, wasting your time and everybody else is taking up space. Eating the chicken, eating all the sweet potato unleavened bread. Stop. I want another piece. Shoot.
Bring it out.
Hell is this? I'm just playing. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Sweet potato cornbread. Fire. Fires. Shouts out to the kitchen team.
Tallahassee.
Yeah, Tallahassee Kitchen. If y'all don't know, come to the grand opening. You'll find out. All right?
That's right.
Where was that? I don't got mesmerized in the damn sweet potato cornbread. Give me, let's go back to Romans, please. All right, Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Brothers and sisters, our salvation right around the corner. How we know? Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. Come on now. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. Start at verse 3.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
And as he sat upon this Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming and out of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
Right. Christ said, take heed that no man deceive you. He's answering his question. He said, hey, how do we know when the end of the world is coming? Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
That's what we see. We see the Russia-Ukraine. We see America beefing with China and Russia, about to go to war. We see all of this taking place. Finland just joined the European Union. We see all of these things transpiring right in front of our eyes, right now. Read.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. Come on.
And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Famines and pestilence. I know Somalia, they're going through a hunger crisis over there. Okay, it says famines and pestilences. All right, we already had the COVID-19. They got more coming. All right, read on.
And earthquakes.
And what?
And earthquakes.
And God is going to be talking to us through the earthquakes, through the whirlwinds, through the hailstorms. Go ahead.
In diverse places.
In different places all throughout his earth. Here's verse 14. Watch this.
Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world.
What's the gospel of the kingdom? That we're going to get delivered up. That we're going to have to go to prison. Right? The love of many shall wax cold. The earthquakes, the tornadoes, the wars, the rumors of wars. Meaning what? That has to take place. Read verse 14 again.
Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
It's a witness to all nations. And understand this, like I say in Jeremiah 25 and 29. Read that for me. Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 29. Let's read that real quick. Because it says, this gospel that we just read in Matthew 24 shall be a witness against all nations. Watch this.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25 and verse 29.
Come on.
For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name.
City called by God's name is Jerusalem.
That's right.
So guess what? If he going to bring those plagues and evil to us, guess what else is going to happen? Go ahead.
And should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished.
Come on.
For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth,
You
saith
see
the
that?
Lord of hosts.
You see that? That's what it's talking about. So guess what? For those Israelites that don't want to believe, hey, it's still a witness against you too.
That's right.
Just like these other nations. When you see all of these disasters, all of these storms take place, that's just showing you what these things got to happen before the end come, before return of Messiah. That's what the scripture's saying right there. Yes, all right? Let's stay on track. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20. All right? So, now, hey, it's high time that we wake up out of sleep. Stop hitting the snooze button and get up. We're here. We're in the thick of it right now. Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 20.
Come on.
And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
Because why do we have the adversity and affliction? Because we didn't listen to the voice of God.
Right.
But even through all of that, he still has mercy on his people. How do we know? Because he gave us the prophets. That's how we know that God has mercy on his people. Read that again.
Yes, sir. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the waters of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
Read.
But thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
Come on.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it.
You see that thing right there? This is going into what? He sent his son Christ. And now he sent the prophets back in the last days to do what? To guide the people so they can listen to the voice of God. Understand that thing, brothers and sisters. Drop that. Give me Proverbs 8 and 4. And now I'm finna focus on some of you sisters. Because I love my sisters. That's why we got to go over these scriptures. Okay? Y'all, I notice sometimes sisters, you know, they comprehend, they understand it, but they forget it within days. They forget it so quickly. But that's why we got to keep coming with these classes, man. Watch this.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Unto you, O men, I call.
You see that? Unto you, O men, these are the leaders, these are the prophets, God calls. Read.
And my voice is to the sons of man.
And his what?
To the sons of man.
And his voice is to the sons of men. Understand that. That's why we went to Isaiah 30. Those teachers, those prophets, those are the men of God. That's right. And God speaks to his prophets. From there, drop that. Give me Isaiah chapter 32. We're going to start at verse 1. Do a little bit of reading. Just a little bit. Okay? Isaiah chapter 32. Let me get there with you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 1. Watch this.
The book of Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 1.
Come on.
Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind.
You see that? It says a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. This goes for those independent women out there. That's right. Those independent sisters that feminists and just think they could do all these things. And all right. So when the judgment come, when the trouble come from the nations, okay, let's see that independent mentality then. The Bible say the man is going to be that hiding place, meaning what he going to protect you, shelter you. Okay, read the verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest.
Right, a covert, that's covert, like a covert mission, secret, hiding place. It's a covert from the tempest. Meaning what? Who gonna board up those windows for you? Who gonna do that? Who gonna make sure that you stockpile with the food in the day when the prophets know that the Most High is speaking on earth? Who's doing that? God says it's gonna be the man that's gonna do that thing right there. That's gonna keep the women and children safe. Read.
As rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
Read on.
And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim.
Come on.
And the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammers shall be ready to speak plainly.
Now, here's the point I want to get to. Read verse 5.
Verse 5.
Come on.
The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
Right. It says the vile person shall no more be called liberal. Liberal person is someone, you know, who has the best interests of society at heart, as it should be. All right. Liberals today, they're under a false guise. They make it look like that because they're open-minded. They're all inviting. They accept everyone. They don't discriminate on anybody. That sounds familiar, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Read that again.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
Meaning what? Their true colors in these last days, they're going to come forth. You're going to be able to see exactly who the liberals really are. Okay, read on.
Nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Read.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
Right, villainy. The vile person will speak villainy. What's an example? Y'all got an article for me? All right, read that. Is that the top? Okay, read that.
This is the Liberty Champion, the official student newspaper of Liberty University.
Okay.
Student opinion. Liberals continue increasing gender identity curriculum.
You see that thing right there? It says liberals, and this is for the Democrats. It says the liberals continue increasing, I can't see it, gender identity curriculum. Scroll down. Read that.
The American school system has long been a subject of controversy and debate, with issues ranging from education funding to standardized testing. However, one of the most divisive topics in most recent years has been the role of gender identity in classrooms across America.
So to a lot of people, they'd be like, well, this is a good discussion to have because there's a rise of the LGBTQ trans community, right? But is that good to God? No, it's not good to God. So they'll make it look like they have the community's interest, the best interest at the community's time. You know, they make it look like they're for the people. Mm-hmm. But deep down, no, it's villainy. It's evil. It's witchcraft. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Some of you, especially you sisters, some of you think that that's okay. I'm not saying you godly sisters in here, just like Bishop would say. Right. So don't get offended. Don't get mad at me. But some of you sisters out there think that the white man is doing the nice thing. Why? Because you have some gay cousins. You have some gay relatives. And you're like, I love my relative. And guess what? Because you can't see through it, you're going to go down with them too. Go back to verse 5. Let's pick up a little bit for the sake of time.
Yes, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy.
Go ahead.
And to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
You see that? The drink of the thirsty, who's that? Us. Israel. Their plot is to destroy us. Right. Why do you think they're pushing LGBTQ? We can't repopulate like that. So don't think for 1 second that when you see the powers that be, our enemies, right? When you see them doing things in the media, it's all an attack and it's an agenda to destroy the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You got to be able to see that thing in the spirit. Let's read on.
Verse 7. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor.
Who's the poor? Real quick fire. Isaiah 14:32. Understand that it's a two-headed monster, the Republicans and the Democrats, the left and the right. They are both here to destroy you. You got to be able to see that thing. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 32.
Go ahead.
What shall one then answer the messenger of the nations? That the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it.
You see that? Now go back and read verse, what is that, verse 7?
Yes, sir.
Read that.
Verse 7. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right.
Even when we speak right. And that's what we're doing. We go out to the streets and teach the Bible, which is the right thing to do. And they call it hate speech. See that? See that thing right there? As a matter of fact, I'm just going to jump the gun. I'm going to jumble some things together for the sake of time. Play that video. Play that video real quick. Watch this.
Zero's investigative unit infiltrates one of the most powerful lobbies in the world.
We're getting $38 billion in security aid to Israel matters, which is what AIPAC is doing.
We examine how the lobby, led by AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, has secured unwavering support in Congress.
Congressmen don't do anything unless you pressure them. And the only way to do that is with money.
What the lobby is all about is to make sure that Israel gets special treatment from the United States forever.
Stop. You see that thing right there? Give me Revelations 2:9 real quick. It says that Israel gets special treatment forever from America. I'm going to show you something because I just went over the fact that even when the needy speak right, when we speak right, they come against us anyway. Because according to the Bible, the Jews are what? Black. According to Jeremiah 14:2. Yes, sir. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans went into slavery on slave ships. That's what happened. According to Revelations 1:14, Jesus Christ is a black man, right? This is right according to the Bible. But this is why they speak against us. Revelations 2:9, because we go against their lie. Watch this. And America's in cahoots too. We got a precept on America too. Watch this.
The book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Who's he talking to? Us. Why do we have tribulation? Why do we have poverty? Because we didn't listen to the voice of God. He reminding us throughout the scriptures. Read the verse again.
Yes, sir. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Come on.
But thou art rich.
But we rich because we have what? A chance at redemption, a chance at salvation if we overcome. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. And are not.
And are what?
Are not.
Read.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
And you see that by the clip we just showed. They spend millions, billions of dollars to make sure certain people are winning these elections, to make sure that Israel gets all of these rights. Remember, Israel, there was a vagabond. Not Israel, but the Jewish people, the Ishis, the fake ones. They didn't have a land. Everybody hated them. Everybody despised them. Right. Then through the Balfour Declaration, they were able to what? Inhabit our homeland in 1948. How does that happen? Well, we just read it right there. Through lies and deceit, extortion, bribery. That's how they came to where they got. All right? Oh, America. I forgot about America. Jeremiah. Because they are in cahoots with that lie that we just read about in Revelation chapter 2. All right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to read this and we're going to come back to this at the end of the class. So we almost done, y'all.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Watch this.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 35.
Come on.
A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men.
Go ahead.
A sword is upon the liars.
The what?
The liars.
The liars. It says a sword is upon the liars. Meaning what? Both Amalek and the Edomites in America, they're both going to be destroyed by the sword because of their lie. Because when the needy, which is the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when we teach the truth, you try to shut us up. To the point where you're what? 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. This is why the sword must come upon these liars. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. Right here. Watch this.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 70.
Go ahead.
For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
You see that? An insurrection. It's going to be a manhunt against the needy, against the poor, against us, the Israelites. Why? Because we're speaking what's right. Don't lose faith now, brothers and sisters. Yes, sir. This is just the beginning of the war. They are going to turn up the heat. But give me that. Sirach 4 and 28. Give me Sirach chapter 4, verse 28. Watch this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 28.
Come on.
Strive for the truth unto death.
Until what?
Unto death.
Come on.
And the Lord shall fight for thee.
There it is. Think about it. We owe everything to the Lord. Why? Because we was hard-headed at the beginning. We didn't listen to the voice of the Lord. So now he's giving us opportunity to make it right. So we owe our lives to the Most High and His Son, Jesus Christ. Think about it like that, brothers and sisters. We ought to hate this present world. So we got to give up our life. So be it. Let's stay faithful unto death. That's right. All right? And that's how we got to exhort one another. All right? From there. Yes, officer?
I'll get 1%.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me get Sirach chapter 43 and verse 31. No, 30. Go ahead.
The book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 30. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can.
Just like Cap was saying, all right, when you're exalting God, give everything you got. Go ahead.
For even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength.
Read.
And be not weary. For ye can never go far enough.
Don't worry. Don't think you're doing too much, because you can never go far enough. Whatever that you see you're doing, either you partaking in helping out with the school, you're giving alms, whatever that you're doing, don't think you did enough, because you can never go far enough. What thus said the Lord. Go ahead, Cal.
All praise. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 32 and 7. All right, we are wrapping it up, Watch this.
The book of Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 7.
Come on.
The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor.
And we just seen that. They devise this wicked devices. Give me the Habakkuk 3:14. We just seen that in the clip. All of this is an attack against the true people of God. Right. Okay? And we're coming right back to this. Habakkuk 3:14. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly.
You see that? Their rejoicing is to devour the poor, which are the Israelites, secretly. That's why they have all of these meetings. That's why they spend billions. They spend billions of dollars to keep their lie going. And so you'll never find out who you truly are. But there is a God. There is a God. What was that, Psalms 21:11? Uh-oh. Shoot from the hip. Let me see. I think this one just came to mind. Let me look at it. Psalms 21:11. Let me see. Yes. Psalms chapter 21, verse 11. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Psalms chapter 21 and verse 11.
Come on.
For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform.
Right. They're not going to be able to perform it because there is a God. Now let's go back to Isaiah 32, y'all. Isaiah 32 and 7 was reading down.
The book of Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 7.
Come on.
The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words.
Come on.
Even when the needy speaketh right.
Even when we speak what's right. All right. So when Christ said, all men shall speak evil of you for my name's sake, we got to welcome that thing. That's right. And be ready to combat it with the scriptures, not by fisticuffs, not by picking up arms, but no, we are going to defeat this wicked kingdom with the word of God. Understand that thing. Read verse 8.
Verse 8.
Go ahead.
But the liberal deviseth liberal things.
Come on.
And by liberal things shall he stand.
Now watch verse 9.
Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Come on.
Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech.
Right. So Isaiah's saying, hey, y'all need to rise up. Stop following the vile. They're deceiving you. You know what else the vile speaks, which are the liberals? They speak about feminism. They speak feminism, meaning what? It's 50-50. And you know what 50-50 really means, 100-0, right? So read the verse again.
Verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Sisters, scripture's telling you, don't bring that feminism mentality up through these doors.
That's right.
Don't bring them in your marriages. Don't bring them to your children. That's what the Lord is saying. You mannish sisters, stop it. That's what God is saying right there.
Man down.
Stop it. Don't bring that in. Learn femininity.
Right.
Learn to be soft-spoken.
Right.
Read it one more time.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Come on.
Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech.
Come on.
Many days and years shall ye be troubled.
It says what?
Many days and years shall ye be troubled.
I want y'all not to forget what we just read in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. It said, many years and days you shall be troubled. Give me Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 6. Now, think about what happened to us. You know, we were the mightiest nation, on the face of the earth at one point, and we fell from that when the Assyrians came and the Babylonians came. All right, contextually, that's what it's talking about right here. Okay? We would seek succor from the Egyptians when you read Isaiah 30, Isaiah 31, okay, to deliver us instead of seeking the Most High God. So God destroyed the Egyptians, so we had nobody to go to, right? And guess what? Like it says in verse 10, it says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. Meaning what? The days where you had riches and wealth and all of that, that's going to be gone. Over, said, and done with. What I have you read?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and 6.
Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins?
Go ahead.
As a woman in travail.
Read.
And all faces are turned into paleness.
Watch this.
Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
It is even the time of what?
Jacob's trouble.
Read.
But he shall be saved out of it.
If you endure and overcome. And that salvation doesn't mean you're going to stay alive the whole time either. It's not what it's talking about. Okay? Now, watch this. We're going to put these two together. Watch this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 10. Many days and years shall ye be troubled.
Meaning what? Sisters and brothers too. We got some time that we're going to go through some serious trouble. We got some trouble ahead of us. Read.
Ye careless women.
Come on.
For the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come.
Come on.
Tremble, ye women that are at ease.
You shouldn't be at ease. There's no way you could be comfortable right now. Think of what you may have this dream job. That's not going to be forever. You may have this dream house. That ain't going to be forever. Okay? The Bible says, hey, it says, tremble ye women that are at ease. It's not saying walk around not trusting God. No, what it's talking about is you better not be comfortable. That's what it's talking about. Read that again, verse 11.
Yes, sir. Tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins.
From there, give me the book of 2nd Ezra 16. We've got 5 scripts, and then we're done. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and I want verse 33.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 33.
Come on.
The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms.
You see that? It says the virgin shall mourn. That's a young woman having no bridegroom, meaning what? They was about to get married. They may have been promised to each other. But it says in this day, read that again from the top.
Yes, sir. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegroom.
Come on.
The women shall mourn, having no husband.
You see that? The women, married women that have husbands, saying that day, they're not going to have them. Okay? Why? Read.
Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers.
Come on.
In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed.
You see that? In the wars. We're in the midst of spiritual war right now. And guess what? When they can't defeat us through their smear campaigns, when they can't defeat us through their lies, you know what they're going to do? They're going to start putting hands on us. Brothers and sisters. Read the verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed.
Read.
And their husbands shall perish of famine.
Come on.
Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord.
Wait a second. Read verse 35 again.
Hear now.
Do what?
Hear now these
Do what?
things. Hear.
It says hear now. Hear now. Hear what? The voice of God. You got to understand these things, brothers and sisters. This, because we didn't consider, we had no counsel, no understanding. We didn't consider the latter end. We didn't consider all of that. So guess what? This is what we got to go through now. Okay? This is what we got to go through now, brothers and sisters. Okay, from there, give me verse 40.
Verse 40.
Go ahead.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Don't be like Lot's wife. Don't be looking back.
That's right.
Okay? We got to be ready to move. Got to be ready to do what we got to do to teach this gospel, spread the word, keep these commandments, and fight for our lives. That's what we got to do. Gird ourselves up. Don't be forgetful hearers. Okay? 15 and 49. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 49. Watch this.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 49.
Go ahead.
I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty.
Y'all know what widowhood is? What is that? You lost your spouse. Sisters, you lost your spouse. Read that verse again.
Yes, sir. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death.
Right. So we have to make sure we're doing what? Revelation chapter 3. Okay? Revelation chapter 3. And we'll end with this. We will end with this one. Give me Revelation chapter 3, verse 11.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
We have to be circumspect. We have to be serious. We have to be diligent, brothers and sisters. Okay? It says, hold that fast, that no man take your crown. We're going to have differences amongst us. Squash that, because we ought to know what's going to happen in the latter end. You beefing right then and there, but that should be temporary, because that's with your brother. Okay? Let that stuff go. That's with your sister. Let that stuff go. Don't let nobody take your crown that's promised to you if you overcome. Read.
Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God.
Come on.
And he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem.
Which is New Jerusalem. Hold that. Give me Micah chapter 4, verse 8. We're coming right back. Okay, and understand this. This is the next reigning superpower after America, and there will not be another one to come after. Okay, Micah chapter 4, verse 8. Watch this.
The book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 8. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem.
It says the kingdom shall come to who?
The daughter of Jerusalem.
Read.
Now why dost thou cry out loud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished?
Wait, is that verse 8?
No, sir, this is verse 9.
That's verse, I just wanted verse 8, sorry.
Yes,
go back to Revelations, I think you was at verse 12, read that again.
Yes, sir. The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God.
Come on.
And he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God.
Read.
And the name of the city of my God, which is the New Jerusalem.
Which is New Jerusalem, read.
Which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name.
Read.
He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Right, so if you have an ear, let them hear. Don't be like the forefathers who didn't want to listen to the voice of God. Now is the time to listen up and follow and apply. Read.
Verse 14. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, write, these things saith thee, amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God.
Come on.
I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot.
So the church of Laodicea, he says, hey, y'all need to get your mind right. You're void of counsel, of understanding. You don't know what you want to do. You're faking the funk. That's what he's saying right there. Read on.
Verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot,
go ahead,
I will spew thee out of my mouth.
You see that? You're not going to get it, because guess what? You have to pick a side. You have to choose. It's either you're all the way in or you're not. You can't be the double life Israelite like our forefathers were when they heard the voice of God. They said, Moses, we want to hear from you. You know why? Because they wanted to go serve idols and have orgies. They said, could you go talk to God? Because they already had that orgy on their mind. Already. That's why God is saying, hey, so then because thou art lukewarm, you want to look like you serving me, but still serve your idols and your lust. He says, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Read on.
Verse 17, because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods.
That's a lot of brothers and sisters in America. That's how the forefathers were in Egypt. They say, hey, we was good. You bring us to this wilderness to die of hunger. A lot of brothers and sisters, they got their house, they got their dream job, they got their cars. I'm good. Read the verse again.
Yes, sir. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have need of nothing.
Go ahead.
And knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked.
And naked. You're nothing without God. Only the devil could make you think that you're something without the Most High. Read.
I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou may be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear.
That's nakedness going into your sin. Go ahead.
And anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou may see.
Right. It said in Isaiah 30:20, thy eyes shall see thy teachers. But some, when you read, was it 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, read that, 2:9, because they don't want to get themselves right, they ain't going to be able to see it. Let's pull that one real quick. 2 Thessalonians 2:9.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9.
Come on.
Even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan.
Only Satan could make you think that you're better off without God. Read.
With all power and signs and lying wonders.
And lying wonders. Lying wonders. Go ahead.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish.
And then that what?
In them that perish.
Read.
Because they receive not the love of the truth.
There it is. They might be in the truth, but they don't love the truth. It says they receive not the love of the truth. Read.
That they might be saved.
Go ahead.
And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion.
Come on.
That they should believe a lie.
All right, let's go back to Revelations. Let's close it out. Revelations 3:18. Watch this, y'all.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou may be rich, and white raiment that thou may be clothed.
Come on.
And that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. And anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou may see.
Right, you better get yourself right so you don't miss out on his kingdom. Go ahead.
As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten.
Right, that's why we've been through this. He said he know our works and our tribulation and our poverty. Right, he said that in the chapter right before this. Okay, read.
Be zealous, therefore, and repent.
Repent. Get your mind right and repent. Read.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
Remember what he said in Deuteronomy 5? He said, oh, if they just had a heart to serve me. He's still there. He said he's standing at the door. This is Christ said he's standing at the door and he knocked. Read.
If any man hear my voice and open the door.
If any man what?
Hear my voice.
If any man what?
Hear my voice.
Come on.
And open the door. I will come into him and will sup with him.
Read.
And he with me.
Verse 21.
To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne.
Come on.
Even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne.
So all praise to the Most High. I pray you received something from today's class. And with that, we say shalom.
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 Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.